Welcome back to the Stanley Parable 2, or what the real game is actually called, the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. So, last episode it was more on the not new side of things, no new update side of things. There is one action figure or smithereen or whatever they called it, Stanley dolls that I have to collect. So that's what we're going to do in this episode. We're just going to roll with the flow and see what endings we get, see if anything's new. I think we're probably going to get the bucket because last time when we had a bucket and we did that one ending, it was different. So let's begin.
This is the story of a man.
We're also going to be skipping the intros because there's no point of watching.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply... Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
So we're going to go to the right.
This was not the correct
And
way
we're
to
going
the meeting room. But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Because there's both red and blue, and I know
And
where
here
that
it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct?
No.
Oh, no, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
So we're going to go...
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good,
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
So screw that. We're going to get the doll.
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, "No buckets past this point." Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
Well, great. Now we can't get the doll. What?
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough,
okay.
right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin.
Oh.
Item 1. Is this a bucket?
No.
Correct. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
What?
Item 2. Is this a bucket? Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
What?
Item 3. Is this a bucket?
Can I just leave? No. Alright. No.
Incorrect. This is a bucket. Item 4. Is this a bucket?
Yes.
What? Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's an enormous machine that tills the earth. I thought this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible. Let's just move on to the next one.
What the hell?
Is this a bucket? Correct. This is a bucket.
What? No, it isn't. Are you an idiot?
Item 6. Is this a bucket? Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
Screw you.
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere. Yes. Thank you. There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well that nothing isn't a bucket. Wait, when I say nothing isn't a bucket, that makes it sound like I'm saying everything is a bucket, which of course is not true. Unless... Is that what you think? Answer me straight, Stanley. Are you trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket? You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is?
Yes.
Am I a bucket?
Probably.
Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart.
No,
I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely.
What?
Okay, here we go. What happened? Is everything gone?
Yes,
Why did
because the
everything
game is
disappear?
a
Wait, was
bucket.
everything a bucket?
Yes.
Every single thing in the game was a bucket.
Yes, you
Oh my
idiot.
God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
I'll tell the adventure line that. He'll be surprised.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Alright, so I guess I'm not grabbing that this time. Plus, there's another ending that I didn't do last time here. So.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
What an ending, bro. Am I a bucket? This whole game's a bucket,
Wow. Yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
You know.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Yeah.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you
Me?
all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. What? Really?
Yes.
I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you?
Yes.
Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. And there it is. The last Stiggly Wiggly. See this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here, and now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
Is that really it?
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution.
I don't think so.
Let me show you.
Screw you. I'm going to the store. Oh.
What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
Okay, is this like blurry or is that just me? Or I'm done looking at that.
No, wait. Where are you going?
What's that shell?
Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
Yeah?
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing. No! Oh, thank God you lived. You had me worried there for a moment. Now, can we please get back to the other room? No, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this? Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me? My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly? Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours. Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back. Stanley, I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on things. It's those figurines, those figglers. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness? Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone? I would love nothing more than to revisit the figurines. Just one more time.
Are you going back to the Steam reviews? Okay, that's new. Guessing when we go down here.
Here's where it all began. The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
Seven out of 6. Oh my God.
And here was a second Stanley. You found this one all on your own, just by poking around in the warehouse. You did that, Stanley. I'll be honest. Back then, I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways.
Oh.
Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini Stan? Can you remember?
This one.
Hey, that's exactly right. It was here, under the stairs. It was the third one. You picked it up, and then after that, you had 3 of them. I'm glad these moments are so crystal clear in your memory, but I shouldn't be surprised. After all, science tells us that it's impossible to forget your third time doing anything.
Really?
Let's see, what came next? Oh yes, we found a Figley in this pink room. Oh well, I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
No. I have this all archived on my channel, so if you guys want to look at the other episodes, you can tell that I've never been in this room at all. So that's a little weird.
This was the 5th mini Stan, and this one was really something special. It was behind the boss's office. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy.
Oh my God! Oh.
Takes you back, doesn't it? I spent a lot of time making that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
Yeah, a lot of time. What the hell? The one that I just did today.
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the Final Figurine, right here by the red and blue doors. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others. Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figley and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like. And then there was no more. because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing left to do but move onward into the future. Goodbye, Memory Zone.
What?
No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the Memory Zone again from the opposite direction. See how that feels.
It's not gonna feel like anything. It's just going backwards.
Okay, yes, the room with the red and blue doors. I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the Memory Zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going. I want more.
Why?
And here's where I made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched?
Yeah.
Yes.
Best video
I love
ever.
that video.
Yeah, I do too. Okay, that's a little weird. Clipping a little bit, okay.
Still don't remember the pink room, Stanley.
I don't either.
Still no memory of this one. Good room, though. A solid room. These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have muted the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
We never went to the bathroom. Weird.
This was our second Figley. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going. This is it, the very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the figurines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this?
The jump circle.
Look, it's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then, but time does put a rosy filter on everything. In fact, I dare say I'm actually quite fond of it now. Look how much fun the past is. I want more memories.
I don't think you really want new memories or old memories.
Oh, yes, the two doors. Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one. And before everything else, there was your office. Is there anything else? Was there something that came before your office? There's something I feel I can remember. I can remember. Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy, and I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions. He would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once. and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy telling his story so very much. Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Weird. What a weird ending.
All of his co-workers... Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
On his left. I think I did every ending on the left. No, I haven't. No, I haven't.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh, you couldn't get out.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Also, the camera thing I said before, I think it makes a lot more sense because of the secret passageway. Because if you think about it, it's a camera room, right? And if he's in that room, the manager, or the person who works here, it makes sense if he saw one of his co-workers come inside. What is going on so far? What happens if I do
Descending
this?
deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
We're going to go to the escape ending.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Wow.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
I'm good.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
And boom.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly. And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Office layout. Neato. Corridor. The two doors. The office. Yes, different offices every time you loaded up the game in the original Stanley Parable. I don't know if it's still in this game. It probably is, but yeah. It would be cool if I could find it. Also, there's also a secret ending for this one. Button sounds. Office computers. Credits. He did a really good job as a narrator. Gonna go left then right. Maintenance room. An early version of the maintenance room. The office. Echoes. That's an early design, because all these paintings were different in the first Stanley Parable. The War Zone. Early in development, we designed it an ending where Stanley would end up on a battlefield fighting aliens. The action game would become sentient and would wage war against the narrator. We realized shortly after starting to build it that it was far too jokey and on the nose for the tone of the game. It's Half-Life 2 asset. The lounge. Wow, it's a lot different. This reminds me of a lot of Half-Life 1. That is a lot different event that you could go to the lounge. So you could choose to go back. Huh, weird. And it used to be different. Cool. What is this? Zending model. A lot like Half-Life 2. I meant not Half-Life 2, I meant Portal 2. I'm a dingus. Neato. Trailers. For the Stanley Parable 1. Kinda reminds me of Half-Life 2, like early Half-Life 2. Freedom ending. I like that one. Oh. A lot more messier over the time. I think it's a lot more better in the corner. 2 monitors. I like the last design. Okay. Went in a whole circle. We're gonna go down. Check out the other way. It's probably just gonna loop back around, but might as well check it out since we're here. Boss's office. Neato.
Let's see. Stanley walked through the green door. Stanley stood on the snow. Now look closely, Stanley. See how it's impossible for the player to do anything in this room? Perfect example of poor level design, textbook mistake. It's the kind of thing you'd pick up on intuitively if you had even the most fundamental understanding of good and bad game design. But of course, you being you, you'll probably spend the next hour trying to solve it. Here, I'm just going to make this easy on you. Try the other one then. Stanley jumped in the river. Still nothing.
There's a lot here, and I think I just checked out everything. So, ooh,
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
So who is this girl?
Can
I
you
don't know.
see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be
What if I
walking
don't
someone
want to?
else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let
Screw
time
you!
choose for you. Don't let time...
Is Nero going to stick up to what he said about stopping the game? Or he's just lying? He's a liar! I told you! I didn't say anything, but I kind of figured that he wouldn't. Stop the game. Well, thank you for watching. Subscribe while you're here. Comment down below. Tell me what you want me to play in the comments. Like the video. And react to my other videos right here. Have a great